Hi, my name is Chris Luck. I'm the founder of Alphapreneur.com, which is a private community for entrepreneurs that will help you get the results you truly want in your life. I want to thank you for taking the time to be here today. And I want to just jump over to my computer screen. If you're just kind of stumbling on this video on YouTube and you're like, what is this video? Together is a community inside of Alphapreneur. We're going through the One Funnel Away challenge that a friend of mine, Russell, is putting on right now. And we're on day 22. So if you missed any of the other videos, days 1 up to 22, then you can just go to alphapreneur.com and you can get in our little community, which is like our own little corner of the internet. And then you can get caught up on the previous days. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on the inside. So I'm going to log in right now. And I apologize if my voice sounds like it's about to go. I almost lost my voice this weekend. Don't know why. So hopefully it doesn't go away. So this is inside of Alphapreneur. And you can see there's a lot of different areas going on that you can kind of jump in and out of that's going to help you really get more results as an entrepreneur. But what we're focusing on right now is the One Funnel Away challenge, like I mentioned. So if we go to challenges and go to OFA, you're going to see this is the One Funnel Away challenge. Then here you're going to see this is where all the previous days are. So like I said, we're on day 22 already. So we're going to scroll all the way down and go down to day 22, which is today. We're talking about traffic. So I'm going to click on traffic and it's just going to take us directly to that post. So here's the video. So if you're watching this video and you found it randomly on YouTube, it's all the videos are organized neatly and trimmed and just presented in a very simple fashion inside of Alphapreneur. So when you get in the community, just know everything is already organized for you. And then what I do is below these videos, I do a one-pager link, which you're going to see what that is in a minute. And then I just want to get into my notes for today's training. So you can see I take quite a bit of notes for the trainings for this One Funnel Away challenge. And the way that my notes work is that Russell goes live every day at 11 a.m. Central. And then I show up live on the challenge and then I take my notes and then kind of prepare how I want to share my notes with you at 1 p.m. Central. And then I go live at 1 p.m. Central while we're on this challenge. And then I share my notes and then talk about, I kind of fill in some gaps on things that maybe Russell missed or someone else might have missed. Because right now, today, there was a woman by the name of Rachel Miller that was the one that spoke today. It wasn't even Russell. So I took notes off of her talk. And then I had some things that I wanted to share with you. So let me go ahead and just take a look and make sure that everything is all good. If everything is all good on your end, like my voice, my audio and all that, let me know in the live chat. And then also, if you are a member of Alphapreneur, just say member and then something either you like or hopefully don't like, but hopefully you don't say something you don't like, but let me know something you like about being a member of Alphapreneur, because for those that are watching the recording of this on YouTube, you might notice the live chat is disabled, and that is because I actually go live and then let everyone know inside of Alphapreneur when I go live, and they all have the chance to, members of Alphapreneur can actually show up when I go live on YouTube, and they can jump in the live chat and we can all kind of have a fun conversation. But all that is disabled once the live stream is over. So the public can still watch the video, but the actual community aspect of the live chat in the comments and all that's all disabled because all that stuff goes on inside of Alphapreneur. So let me go ahead and take a look here at the live chat. So these are individuals that are live that are talking in the live chat. So I'm just going to pull up some of their comments here. Steve says, love being in Alpha. Thank you so much. Steve says, last I checked, the COVID doesn't take your voice. So you're good. Hopefully that's the case, because my oldest daughter that is 10, she had someone in her class that was actually got COVID. So she's home for 14 days now and is quarantined, and I'm in my office now. And then I hope I don't get it. But we had her checked for COVID, and she has no COVID. So thank God she tested negative. So let's go ahead and take a look in the chat. It looks like Biz for Creatives, which is Liz, is a member. Spin is a member. John is a member. Sue says, member, love the secret handshake. For those that show up live, you know what the secret handshake is. Steve is a member with no, I don't know if you were posting an emoji after that or not, but Glenn is a member. Jamie, member, the authenticity is what I like. Thank you, Jamie. Member, always learning new valuable content. Thank you so much. Eli says, member from the start. Please do not trim the videos. Eli, that's something I'm doing just exclusively for the members. So members that actually take the time to show up live, they kind of get the extra benefit and kind of exclusivity of being live. Magnus is a member with an avalanche of fantastic help from both Chris and all the members. Thank you very much. Pammy's a member. Frank says, member, Chris, love your daddy hidden secrets and hacks. That's awesome. June is a member for life. C says, amen. Cool. So thank you all for taking the time to be here live. Greg is a member as well. Greg, I don't recognize your name. So if you're new, just let us know so everyone in the live chat can give you a warm welcome. Thank you, Steve. The Jedi marketing. So that all made my day for all the members that are here. Alistair's a member, enjoying every bit of it. So thank you all for being here in the live chat and chatting with me. So let's just get into the notes for today's training. So Russell brought on this really interesting individual. I've never really seen her before. Rachel Miller had a lot of energy, more energy than I've ever seen anyone have before. And she was the speaker. And her whole thing is about getting traffic, kind of a lot of traffic just with Facebook. So to start off, before I start really going into believing if I should be trying or following or doing something that somebody is telling me to do, I like to see what their results are, to see if they're just all talk or if they're all talk and they actually practice what they preach. So if you want to kind of follow along inside of Alphapreneur, you can see I found the link to her Facebook page, which is her brand called Moolah Marketer. So if we go check out her Facebook page, you can kind of get an idea of how many people like her page. You can kind of see how often she's making posts. Is she getting a lot of engagement? I don't know. Is she getting a lot of comments? I don't know. But if you come down and take a look, I guess to each is their own as far as is what you believe is a lot. So anyway, you can kind of take a look at her page just to kind of get an idea of kind of what her life is like. So anyway, that's to kick things off, something I always recommend that you do as well. Do your due diligence, but before someone actually starts telling you, do this and do that, see how well it's working for them first, before you believe them. So with that being said, we'll just go ahead and, since Russell brought her up on stage, we're going to look at that as a qualification and just kind of go off of what she talked about, because there was a lot of good things she brought to the table, which I think for people that are just getting started online with getting traffic, it is some pretty good advice. So I would like to go ahead and talk about it. So first, she mentioned list out all the pain points of your perfect customer and also the total strangers, the pain points they're currently dealing with, because your goal is to really help your perfect customer have the transformation to fix a specific pain they're dealing with, and then you want them to relate to you and know you're the one that can help them. And then you'll want to put people into buckets. Now, a lot of this is just my advice in words. She did not say this like this word for word, but this is just kind of me I don't know, not necessarily summarizing, but taking what she's talked about and really dumbed it down in an easier to follow format. So anyway, that's kind of like what today was about. And then, so you want to think about, well, how do you attract and convert your perfect customer? So you can take posts, and this is all just on Facebook. So you can take posts and you can boost them. You can share them. You can PM, which is private message, and tag other people in your post. You can reach out to influencers. You can do a little bit of hashtag SEO, which is when you include hashtags in your posts. They're actually seen using, the search engine stuff on whatever network you're using, like Facebook. You can also do some SMS, you can do email, and you can do groups. Now, this can be a little overwhelming because there's a lot of different things that you can do, but I want to keep it simple to you. And for those of you that are actually members of Alphapreneur that showed up to this live stream and you're live, you know the secret gift that I gave you before we went live, or when we went live, a secret gift that I trimmed out so people on the replay unfortunately aren't going to get it because they're not members. So that is, think of the gift in the graphic and all that kind of stuff that I shared with you. So now what you want to do is think about when you're posting, you want to post and really post in waves, which this is interesting how she talked about this, because I never really thought of it like this. But I do this all the time, but I never thought of it in the way that I do it. So let's just go ahead and go through it. So you can start off by making a bunch of individual posts on your Facebook page. Then make an individual, each individual post that you do address an individual pain point to attract your perfect customer. So for instance, like gardening, I keep picking gardening, but I know nothing about it, which I think makes it even more interesting. So, and I don't even really eat vegetables. I don't eat greens or vegetables. So it's like the worst example I could probably pick. But let's say gardening, for a really bad example, is that let's say there's 10 different pain points that people really struggle with gardening, maybe tomatoes specifically. I don't know. One pain point could be trying to decide on, I don't know, the soil. Another pain point could be deciding on what type of fencing to put up or whatever. Another pain point could be thinking about the tools that you would use. So you wouldn't try to address like all those pain points all in one post. You would break them out into individual posts and then really, address in that pain point. Or what I like to do is I like to use a framework. Rachel didn't talk about this, but I like to use a framework called PAS, and it's problem, agitate, and then solve. So you address a problem that someone has, you agitate it by imagine like someone has an open wound, like let's say a knife. I don't know, they were cut with a knife, or a bullet wound. Let's say they had a bullet wound. And so that's their problem. Well, agitating it is like taking your thumb and sticking it in the bullet wound as far deep into their body as you can. You're really agitating the problem. And then solution is give them a solution that fixes the problem. So anyway, that's kind of like just words of wisdom from me to you as far as when you're looking at creating posts. Think always of a problem, agitate, and solution framework. And I'll also teach you a trick in a second. When we get towards the end of this, a tool that I use, a new tool that I use that can really do all this work for you. So keep that in mind. Anyway, you can make each individual post address an individual pain point. So that's the problem, agitate, solution that we talked about. Then wait at least a day and see which ones get engagement. So instead of making like one post a day, make like 10. It doesn't cost you money to make a post on Facebook. Make a bunch of different posts. Try them at different times of the day. Just have fun with it. And then sit back for about 24 hours, like maybe wait till the next day, and then see which ones get engagement. And then you want to spend a little money and boost the post that got the engagement. And the ones that didn't get engagement, don't stress out about it. Just forget they're even there. Just leave them there, but just spend money on boosting the ones that get engagement. And a good rule of thumb that I recommend, again, Russell didn't recommend this, but I recommend it to my students and members of Alphapreneur, is to start with a budget of $5 for 5 days. So you're only spending $1 a day to boost the post. And I say that because that is actually Facebook's recommended starting budget whenever you want to take a post and boost it on Facebook. And I always if Facebook's recommending that and you're going with the recommendation, they're going to award you or give you a reward for that. So don't try to get fancy or try to do anything advanced. Just do something really basic, which is a $5 budget for 5 days. So that's not $5 a day for 5 days. That's $1 a day for 5 days. Then she talked about if you want to start from zero, what that would look like. So you could build a Facebook page, obviously, because this is all about Facebook. Then you want to make posts on your Facebook page. Then you want to, something else she mentioned is that when you are making these posts, and she didn't circle this back around to the posts about problems and solutions, but I'm going to circle back around to kind of really get this deep down, like in your mind. So whenever you're doing these, we'll call them PAS posts. So problem, agitate, solution posts. Then think of like one post specifically that you're going to do. Then let's say if you're in the gardening industry, and I thought someone just said, Magnus says Frank Kern always picks tomatoes. I don't know what it is with marketers and gardeners then. But yeah, that's funny. So let's say tomato gardening then. You could actually, let's say you have a bunch of you have your Dream 100 list of expert tomato gardeners. And then you could actually take one of them on the very first one on the list. When you do a post about, I don't know, your problem, agitate, solution post, about one specific thing people are dealing with tomatoes, then you could tag one of those people in the Dream 100. Not all of them. You don't want to tag more than one, just one person where you're really putting them in the spotlight on your post. And you just kind of lace in while you're tagging them. And then you can also, when you're lacing them in, make them look good, make them feel good, make something that you said about them, make their life better. So you could talk about like how you read this in someone like, let's call the guy Frank, the tomato gardener. You could actually say, I read this in Frank's, amazing book about, tomato alchemy or whatever, or gardening alchemy. And then you can like tag Frank and then talk about his book. And then chances are Frank's going to see it, or someone from his team's going to see it. And they might even leave a comment and be like, oh, thanks for the shout out. So when you do that, your audience is going to associate you with the person that you tagged. And this is more of a subconscious thing. So you're immediately like, and your audience is thinking you and that person is like on the same podium together. It's not you're in the crowd with the audience looking up at Frank. You're on the stage with Frank. You can also share posts from your Dream 100 to your Facebook page, and you can talk about posts that you share. So you could share posts from Frank, and then talk about why you shared it. You can also leave a comment and tag people that like your Dream 100 person and see what they think. You can post a lot of Dream 100 posts, and this is something I want to put down is something to think about, is think about each post like bait. So I like to use the analogy of fishing. I should probably use fishing for all my examples out instead of gardening. But so fishing, like you would use it like every post like being bait that you're putting in the water. You don't know which bait a fish is going to bite on for the day. Sometimes I'll go fishing and I try just about everything in my tackle box and I don't catch anything, but I don't give up on it. I go back out and I'll go fishing. If I'm on a fishing trip, I go back out the next day and I'm out for another 8 hours fishing, trying every bait in the tackle box. If I don't, sometimes I'll go on a fishing trip and I've tried all the bait that I have every day for, 8 to 12 hours a day and I don't catch a thing. That rarely happens because I think I'm a good fisherman. My dad taught me well, but it does happen. So you want to think about that whenever you are posting on social media. And also when you do see some of your posts getting engagement, then again, you can spend a little money and boost them. And again, like $5 for 5 days is what I recommend. Then she touched really briefly on audience collection. And she said for audience collection, there's different levels of ways you can collect your audience. You can do cold and lookalike audiences, personal interest, and custom audiences. This is all kind of more in-depth, advanced stuff that you can do. You don't even need to really think about it right now. You just need to think about posting every day and getting in the habit and really flexing your muscle memory and really training yourself to get in the habit of posting every day so you can start building up an audience like what a bunch of people kind of in the space, that do really advanced Facebook stuff, they call it your invisible list. So it's like all the people that are engaging on your post. So even though you might be sharing a post from, I don't know, like an expert gardener or, an expert in your industry, if you're doing a lot of posts and you're not plugging your own stuff, that's okay, because you are building an audience. When people are clicking like or love, or they're leaving a comment, or they're sharing or doing anything on your posts at all, everything that they're doing, Facebook is tracking that. And you're going to be able to, down the road, when you start boosting your posts, you can boost your posts to people that have engaged on your Facebook page, that's the power. And they didn't really talk about that much today, but that is the whole power of doing all of this. And then why you would be posting about like your favorite gardening book and then tagging, an expert that might be a competitor of yours, but just doing all that is going to get people to really start looking at you as an authority in the space. And then you're just getting the engagement. Your whole focus right now is just doing as much engaging posts as you can and getting as much bait out there on Facebook as you can to get people to engage with you, because then you can take those people and then target them later. So if you want, at the very top of my notes here, you can see I have a one-pager link, and this is an Alphapreneur. So you can click on that and it'll take you to the one-pager for today. And you can see Rachel actually did a video. It's an 18-minute video that you can watch where she shows you step-by-step how to go about making your post, how to build your audiences. I just told you like the 3 types of audiences she recommends you build, but she has actually advanced training in the One Funnel Away Challenge that shows you how to do all that. So instead of me going through and rehashing what she's doing, she already did an 18-minute video that you can pause and play, and kind of see what you need to do there. So that is at the top of the One Funnel Away Challenge, which I recommend. She also did a review day about learning how to post, which you can kind of watch that. And then these are just her notes for what we talked about today. So that is, that's what I wanted to cover. I just really want to get through my notes and then really let you know that, when you're doing this kind of stuff, know that like Facebook is not the end all be all. Like if you don't want to do any of this on Facebook for any reason, then what platform do you want to be on? And then think about that platform you want to be on, and then go to that platform and then just go all in on that platform. I'm not doing hardly anything on Facebook at all right now because everything I'm doing is on YouTube. And the reason I'm going all in on YouTube is because that is my one vehicle that I'm focusing on right now. I don't have a big team behind me that's cranking out all this content that other people do, because I don't want a big team. I don't want a business that just consumes my life because I've got all these employees and all these different directions that I'm going in life and trying to take my business. I just am doing what I enjoy doing, which is this stuff right here, which is just teaching and educating and really empowering you as an entrepreneur. And I know that when I do videos on YouTube, especially all the future live streams I'm going to be doing on YouTube, you can, which by the way, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because there's a lot of cool stuff I have planned, like really cool stuff that people would charge thousands of dollars to teach you, that I'm going to be doing for free on YouTube only through my live streams. And when you subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on notifications, you will not miss out on any of those. And if you're watching the replay of this on YouTube or the recording, because I am live right now and there's people in the live chat, but you'll notice that the live chat's disabled. That's because I only turn on the live chat for people that actually take time out of their day to show up live, so I can actually communicate with all of them. And there was even some stuff that I was doing that was exclusive to people that were showing up, taking the time to show up on this live stream right now, that I trimmed out, that people watching the replay don't get to see. So big benefits all around if you want to show up to my live streams, and then you won't miss out on any of this stuff. Now, speaking of which, those are my notes for today. If any of you that are here live have anything at all that you want to ask me, now's the time to ask me. It can be about anything, because I want to. Well, let's take a look at the time real quick. We're pretty early. We got done pretty quick. So let me know, like, if you have anything at all you want to ask me. If you could keep it on today's topic, that would be great. But if you can't, then, I mean, just ask whatever you like. I need to take a sip of water real quick because I feel like I'm going to lose my voice, and I don't want to lose my voice before we finish this up. I say a sip of water. Look how big this water bottle is. That's someone was asking me the other day how many ounces it is. I don't know. 64. So I try to drink like 2 of these a day, because that's my gallon of water that I hear is like the healthy thing to do these days, is to try to drink a gallon of water. So that's how I do it. I don't like to keep running and getting water every time I drink a glass of water. Okay, Magna says, if your posts are only shown 5%, if your posts are only shown for 5% of your Facebook friends, then what boost? So you just need to, let's say, this is my rule of thumb. Like, if you're going to go all in on Facebook, which I recommend if you're just getting started, she didn't talk about how many posts you should make a day or anything like that, but I'll tell you right now, try to shoot for 10. Might sound like a lot, but if it's too much and you don't think you can do 10 posts a day, then you might want to even just rethink like the whole business and audience and everything, the whole world you're going into right now. Because if you can't come up with at least 10 things, like, and one post could just be like a quote, or 2 or 3 posts could just be like a quote that might really appeal to your audience. But if you can do 10 pieces of content a day on a regular basis, then that's really going to help you out. Now, and think about that as like 10. Instead of bait, let's talk about fishing lines. So if you're sitting in a boat and you have one line in the water, that's like one Facebook post. Well, why have one line in the water when you can have like 10 lines in the water? And then with those 10 lines in the water, you can kind of see which ones fish are going to be biting on and which bait's working. And then you can double down on that and then boost. So don't worry about the metrics that float around on the internet that the experts are always talking about, like only certain percentage of your face. Nobody knows that exact. The only people that know that's Facebook, and Facebook's never going to release like what percentage of your friends are going to see your posts. And by the way, this is not what we're talking about, is not your Facebook profile. What we're talking about is your actual Facebook page, which is completely different in and of itself. Sue says membership has to have its privileges. Yes, there is a lot of privileges and benefits to being a member of Alphapreneur. And for people that are watching this, and if you're not yet a member, then what you can do is just go to alphapreneur.com. Because again, if you enjoyed this live stream and you go to alphapreneur.com, this is my private online community of entrepreneurs that I built that will really help you get the results that you want in your life. And inside, what we do is we take this material, we talk about it, we use it to really take your life to the next level. And if you want to join myself and thousands of other entrepreneurs, then this is where you can go. And then there's a lot of membership benefits and perks for why you would want to be a member. So going live and actually being part of the live chats on YouTube is a big perk in and of itself. Eli says, Magnus, I actually have a method I'm going to share inside of Alpha once this live is done. Thank you, Eli. And I'm going to keep an eye out for that post too. And I also have some more advanced stuff too that I can expand on from what we talked about today that I'll be happy. If you want to start a thread, Eli and Alphapreneur, here, let me show you where to do it. Actually, just do it here. Let me show you just to keep this focused. So if you go, Eli, into Alphapreneur, go to challenges, go to the One Funnel Away challenge, and at the bottom right now, we're on day 22. So click on day 22 traffic time. And then Eli, if you can, below here, just go ahead and leave a comment about whatever it is that you might have a more in-depth approach on. And then I'll share some tips and strategies as well in the comments here inside of Alphapreneur. So yeah, let's go ahead and just have fun with this and really dig deep on what we talked about today. Okay, Liz says, you wouldn't pull this up. Liz says, should you be friending people who make a comment on one of you or your posts in another group? If you want to, that's a whole nother strategy in and of itself. It can be really time consuming. I know some people that are really successful in like MLM companies, and that's what they do. They'll go in groups, and then when they see people that are engaging with their stuff, they friend them, and then they have then they take conversations into like private messages and DMs. And by doing that, you build a personal relationship with them, and then eventually they'll end up buying your stuff or following doing whatever you're recommending that they do. Snolf said, you rock. Hope you feel better by tomorrow. Thank you. I'm just got to keep drinking a lot of water and trying to get some rest. Eli says, I was going to post it there. Awesome. Sven says, could it be an idea that we Alphapreneurs help each other to share, like, and comment each other's posts on Facebook? Is that a good or a bad idea? I'm not going to say it's a bad idea. I'm going to say it's a great idea. But to a certain extent, like, you don't want to like overuse a technique like that, because I don't know where that falls in breaking the rules of Facebook's terms of service. But there are people that I know that create like whole like communities around this kind of stuff, more around the deal space. Like when people are trying to like game reviews on Amazon and stuff like that, they have like private Facebook groups where they do all that. So there's always like gaming the system type stuff that goes on. Sven, if you want to bring that up in Alphapreneur, it could be a great thing to bring up. Gary says, I started a new Facebook page for the OFA, which has a little traffic. Should I run a Facebook likes campaign to get some traffic or just boost some posts? That's a great question, Gary. What I would recommend is not doing a Facebook likes campaign, but spending your budget on boosting the posts. Because here's what's going to happen. When you have, let's say you're doing 10 posts a day, that's 10 new fishing lines in the water every day coming off your boat to try to get some people's interest. And when you start seeing people that are like biting on your bait, on your lines, and you see certain lines like, being taken a little bit, then you can take those and then boost them to your perfect dream customers on Facebook. So let's say your perfect dream customers, let's say in the fishing space. I'm going to start using fishing moving forward. We're starting right now because it's more fun to talk about to me than like something I know nothing about. So in the fishing space, let's say there's like a lot of anglers and fishermen out there that that are like the experts in your space. Well, you can actually, let's say you're doing a post about some new technique to catch trout in like a freshwater trout stream. Then what you can do is when you're doing a post, then you can tag some of those anglers or one specifically per post, And then when you tag them, then you can also, when you boost that post, you can boost that post and only show that post to people who like that angler. So that is way more hyper targeted and a way better use of your ad budget than actually just doing a generic likes campaign just to get page likes. Because page likes, to me, likes don't turn into dollars. Like engagement on your posts is what turns into dollars, because that Facebook wants people to engage in your stuff. Because when people are engaging in your on your content on Facebook, then Facebook looks at that as like you're keeping them on their platform longer. When people are on Facebook's platform longer, Facebook makes more money because of all the ads that they're showing around that person. So if you can spend your money on boosting your post and getting more engagement on your post, first, I look at it as like, instead of, if you were like, I don't know, let's say you were in the Army and you could be a machine gunner where you could be like on a helicopter just spraying, the world with bullets. That would be like doing a page likes campaign. Or you could be a sniper where like every bullet and every shot counts. And that would be, doing an actual, taking a post and then boosting it to a specific audience. And like I said, where it gets really, really powerful is if you were doing a specific post about one specific technique that maybe came from an expert, not you, let's just say some expert that is the expert in the industry, and you talk about them in the post and you put them like on like a stage and put a bright spotlight on them and be like, hey, Gary's new technique with this trout, whatever, this new technique he was doing with fly fishing, in the trout, and like, not casting across the stream, but casting to the middle of the stream, has really worked wonders for me. And then what you can do is you can even encourage people. This is where I just start kind of going on little rants, but hopefully this is what people like about my live streams, is doing these kind of rants. So what you could do is you could then like not only just talk about like how Gary's this amazing angler, but then you can say, does anyone watching this or anyone looking at this have any techniques to add to Gary's incredible, whatever technique that changed your life? Like, let me know in the comments. And then you have that one post that is like your silver sniper bullet that you can then put in the chamber of a Facebook ad, and then you can blast it to just the people that like Gary Fraser on Facebook. So people that like Gary Fraser on Facebook and have engaged with Gary Fraser's stuff on Facebook, see your post being boosted to their newsfeed. That post is gonna light on fire. So that is what you can do on Facebook to really boost engagement. Sorry that was a long-winded answer, but hopefully that was helpful. June says, by the way, let me know if that was helpful, Gary. Sometimes when I go long-winded like that, I'm always worried that I'm talking too much. June says, I completed the configuration for the SMTP yesterday. It says the email was verified correctly. What is the best way to test for myself that it is working properly? I'm still struggling through the funnel. Good question, June. What I recommend doing is putting a test order in. So let's say you got SMTP and it's all set up and everything looks like it's triggering properly. You don't have any errors. Then once your funnel's done, you can put in a test order. So when you connect Stripe, just like how you connected the SMTP to your funnel, you can also, when you connect Stripe to your funnel, that's for your payment processing, there's a little slider switch you can switch in your ClickFunnels funnel where it puts it in test mode. And in test mode, you can then go to the funnel and then go through it as if you're a customer and put in like a test credit card number, which I think Stripe even gives you within ClickFunnels. It's like, if you're going to do a test order, use this card number. So you would do that. And then if the SMTP worked properly, any emails that you set up to go out after order has been made and all that, like an order confirmation, you will get that email. So that's the best way to test. And also keep in mind, for anyone going through this One Funnel Away challenge, there's a whole Facebook group that came with this challenge. In that Facebook group, people, every day they have Q&A threads that they do, and you can actually go and post your questions in those Q&A threads and get your questions answered actually from like the people creating this challenge. This isn't an Alphapreneur challenge. This is just, I'm going through the challenge as a customer, is just a challenger myself. And I thought it'd be fun to do it in fully transparent with other members of the Alphapreneur community, so we can just go through it together and help each other. Liz says, thanks, Captain Chris. You're very welcome. Eli says, Gary Fraser, wait till you see my method. It'll save you some money. I can't wait to see this, Eli. You're getting me excited. Sue says, I went in the Facebook group that are in my space and copied some of their posts and got amazing engagement. Can I repost images and model their comments? How it is perceived, or this is a no-no? Yes, that is actually a really kind of advanced, nobody, like the experts don't talk about type strategy, like don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. So that is actually an incredible strategy, Sue. And I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to spread the word too much, because if too many people are doing that, it actually ends up not being as effective. Because you just start, people in your space will start seeing people grabbing really engagement posts that are in the groups and randomly going out on Facebook pages. And if, like, let's say 10,000 people are in the group and everyone starts doing the same technique, it's not as effective. But yes, that is actually like a super, super powerful, expert, super secretive method that works really well that nobody talks about. So yes, that is a yes. Gary says, makes sense. I'm going to start boosting posts today. Awesome. Let me know how it goes, Gary. And try to consider maybe using Sue's suggestion there. Frank says, Chris, you mentioned since you're primarily using YouTube for lead generation, you'll also be doing a special training at some point for alphas. Yes, once OFA is over, the One Funnel Away Challenge, I have a whole spreadsheet full of things I'm going to be teaching on YouTube that are just me teaching you that people would charge thousands of dollars for to sell through a course that I'm just doing totally free. And here's why I'm doing that. Because a lot of people are asking, like, you know, if I'm actually okay, or if I'm like something's wrong with my life, or am I going crazy or what? Because a lot of people are like against what I'm doing right now. A lot of people are against just teaching for free, going on YouTube, not charging anything, not having people put in an email address to see these videos, that I'm just doing it for free. And like, they're asking, like, why are you doing that? Like, why is there like no catch? And the reason why there's no catch is because I love doing this stuff. I could do this all day long if my voice box would let me. And I've been doing this stuff for 22 years. I've been building businesses and like marketing and making lots of money on the internet for a very long time, where I like taking the stuff that I've learned and like scheming and doing this kind of stuff with all of you. So my evil plan, so the only evil plan I've got is to teach like I'm teaching for free forever on YouTube. And then, and only then, if anyone wants to take any of the techniques that I'm doing, and if they want to get personal feedback or personal attention, or scheme with other members, like in a private, safe environment that is like outside of, you know, and safe from like the Facebook gods and all that kind of stuff, or Facebook devils, then that's what Alphapreneur is for. That's the private community. So all the videos I'm going to be doing and all the live streams I'm going to be doing moving forward are going to be going into Alphapreneur, and they're all going to have their own comment threads, just like how you saw today, how Eli said he's going to do a post and leave a comment below today's video with his technique. I want that to happen across thousands of members that are in Alphapreneur on like every topic you can imagine that's going to help people get results in their life with their business as an entrepreneur. So that's why I do it for free. I'm going to teach and give everything away for free. But if you want to come together as a community on the topics that I talk about, that's what Alphapreneur is for. And that's what the community is for. And no one's doing that. So that's why everyone thinks I'm off my rocker for doing it. But I enjoy doing this, you know, and people always say, you know, people that have written books and all this stuff on like life and happiness, they've always said, well, you know, if you could wake up and, you know, do something for the rest of your life and not get paid for it, like what would it be? And then why aren't you doing that? What I'm doing right now is that thing. Like if I would not have to get paid for it, then I will do it for free. So instead of just thinking about it, I'm like, well, I'm just going to actually do it. I'm going to do all the stuff that I would normally charge for, and everyone else would charge for, do it all for free. Hopefully people stick around and watch the videos and engage and have fun with it. But then if they want to come together and get my help and support and expertise and align with other people and go deeper on the topics and learn how to apply this to your life specifically, that's when you can go in Alphapreneur. So like when I talk about what you're just asking about, using YouTube for lead generation, there's some ridiculous strategies that I'm finding that are working really, really well. that I'm going to teach that other people would teach for thousands of dollars in advanced YouTube courses. I'm going to teach for free on YouTube. And then what I'm going to do is just in those videos, just say, hey, if you want to bounce off some ideas with me on how you can take this technique and apply it to fly fishing in your industry specifically, why I'm got Alphapreneur and not a Facebook group is because I want you to know that when you post links and you share openly about your business, you're in a safe place, and no one's going to be in there to troll on you or bring you down or anything like that. So sorry, that's me kind of riffing on why I'm doing what I'm doing. Steve says, can you white label ClickFunnels? No, you cannot, unfortunately. June says, got it, Chris. Gary says, Gary's talking to June, so I'll just leave it at that. And by the way, for those of you that are seeing me, again, popping up these comments, and maybe you scrubbed around on the replay of this video and you're wondering like where are these people's images and comments and everything coming from if the live chat's disabled. And the reason the live chat's disabled is because I disable it, because the only people that can participate in the live chat are people that take the time to actually show up live when I go live on YouTube. And that's part of the whole community of Alphapreneur. Sven says, getting to share Chris's skills and experience of what works or not is worth its weight in gold. Thank you very much. Glenn says, thanks, Chris. Cool. So I didn't see any more questions come in. So that really wraps up, today. So like I said, just as a reminder, if you're just now jumping on and you're kind of seeing all this, is Frank says, the reason teaching YouTube strategies would be great is because all Alphapreneur videos are totally awesome, and as a community, it'd be great to expose video. Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. So again, if you enjoyed this live stream, I do invite you to come check out Alphapreneur. You can just check it out and see if it's for you. And again, it's a private online community of entrepreneurs that will we all come together and just help you get the results that you truly want in your life. So inside, we'll take this material, we talk about it, and we use it to really take your life to the next level. So if you're not yet a member, I invite you to join myself and all the other members of Alphapreneur to come to alphapreneur.com, check it out, jump in, say hello, and I look forward to helping you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.